Well, good afternoon and welcome to Citizen Sports at 1. My name is Wahiga Maora. We kick off with a story that I was talking with Terian about a few minutes ago. The AFC AGM has finally kicked off at Fungamano House 2 hours later than the time that it was initially set to start. The AGM was meant to start at 10 a.m. but started slightly over 1 hour ago. There were several disagreements in the morning, including which list of delegates should be recognized and why that venue, that's Fungamano House, was selected. At some point, the list of delegates at the door was shredded to pieces, but consensus was achieved thereafter, and the meeting is now going on behind closed doors. Well, Terian is asking me what the way forward after the AGM will be, and I'm telling her, in all honesty, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. In other news, however, 2014 London Marathon champion Wilson Kipsang, 3,000-meter world champion Ezekiel Kemboi, and former London Marathon champion Douglas Wakihuri are some of the leading athletes supporting the Champions Walk for Peace, set to kick off on the 15th of July 2015. The athletes will carry a torch of humanity for 836 kilometers through the Rift Valley until the 6th of August 2015. The walk will conclude at Lake Bogoria. This Kenyan initiative will initially involve 7 counties affected by violent conflict, including Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, Baringo, Trans Nzoia, Laikipia, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Uasin Gishu.
All of the Kenyans to support this, because now when it comes to our differences, but when it comes to sports in this nation, that is where we all forget our differences. And that is where all people will be lived with a very an ear-to-ear smile. Women, youth, children, everybody will walk what little distance they are able to, as a sign of their want for peace, as a sign of their commitment for peace. Because there's a much larger programming that is.
Well, for those of you who don't run, like Terian, you can walk, and it's for peace. Elsewhere, Eduardo Vargas fired host nation Chile into the Copa America final with 2 goals against 10-man Peru. Here are the highlights of that match that ended 2-1 in favor of the hosts. Chile are finally looking to almost make history if they win the Copa America. Who knows? They might either face Argentina or Paraguay, depending on who goes through in that match that will be taking place later tonight. So, of course, we'll give you the highlights of that tomorrow as well. But for now, it's bye-bye Chelsea. Hello, Arsenal. As Czech Republic goalkeeper Petrecet joined Arsenal yesterday for £10 million, or at least 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. The goalkeeper, who played more than 400 club games in 11 seasons at Stamford Bridge, has joined the Gunners on a 4-year contract. He's 33 years old and he's made only 7 league appearances last season after losing his place to Belgian Thibaut Courtois. Arsenal's first signing of the summer could face Chelsea as early as the 2nd of August when the two sides meet in the Community Shield at Wembley. Now, top-ranked nations Germany and the USA will clash tonight in a semi-final at the Women's World Cup in Canada. Fans are looking forward to seeing both teams' contrasting styles going head-to-head. After losing in the quarterfinals of the 2011 World Cup staged on home soil, Germany will have played like a team on a mission in Canada. Meanwhile, the Americans, who lost the 2011 final to Japan, have also been playing with a chip on their shoulders. Meanwhile, the Dutch national team are looking for a new head coach. This is after their 68-year-old coach Guus Hiddink stepped down yesterday after less than 1 year on the job. He hands over to his assistant, who takes charge of a team that is placed third in their Euro group, with the possibility of a playoff tie if they want to make it to the 2016 Euro finals in France. The Dutch finished third at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, and since then they have won 4 games in 10 matches, drawing once and losing 5 times. With 80 days to the Rugby World Cup that will be hosted in England and Wales, the Springboks technical bench named a 49-player squad that undertook its first training session yesterday. The months preceding the World Cup will be a busy one for the South African side, with the Rugby Championship taking centre stage in July and August. South Africa will be playing in the Southern Hemisphere, also featuring Argentina, Australia and New Zealand. Their first World Cup match will be against Japan on the 19th of September. Defending champion and top seed Novak Djokovic moved confidently into the second round of Wimbledon with a 6-4, 6-4 and 6-4 win over German Philipp Kohlschreiber, with no competitive matches in the build-up to the championship after his French Open final loss. Djokovic had a dangerous opponent in the 33rd ranked Kohlschreiber, but the 28-year-old Serbian was clinical on the big points and never looked like becoming the first defending champion to fall in the first round since 2003. It was also a good start for Serena Williams, who survived an early wobble against Russian qualifier Margarita Gasparyan to win 6-4, 6-1. I know one of the biggest names in football who's currently enjoying that tennis action is Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho. Big fan of Wimbledon. If you didn't know, now you know. On to athletics now, where the U.S. national trials took place this past Sunday. And the question everyone is asking is, can USA's Justin Gatlin beat Jamaica's Usain Bolt during the World Athletics Championships in Beijing in August? I say this because Gatlin became the 5th fastest 200-meter runner in history as he won Sunday's final at the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships. The 33-year-old American, who has served 2 doping bans, recorded a time of 19.57 seconds in Oregon. Gatlin has been the dominant sprinter in 2015, having also achieved the quickest time in the 100 meters of 9.74 seconds. And finally, great news for all Manchester United fans, including Willis Raburu, because Manchester United have made a £28.6 million bid, that's about 4.45 billion Kenya shillings bid, for Real Madrid defender Sergio Ramos. That's according to British media reports yesterday. Media reports said the 29-year-old Spain international was keen to move to Old Trafford despite having 2 years left on his Real contract. United manager Louis van Gaal is seeking to shore up the Premier League club's defence to help improve on last season's 4th place finish. United confirmed earlier yesterday that defender Phil Johnson had also signed a contract extension until at least 2019. Well, that's it from the sports desk. But earlier on, I made a little bit of a joke about Terry Ann in regards to the Champions Walk for Peace, because I was like, in the 3 years or so that I've worked with Terry Ann, I've never actually seen her running, so maybe this is a sport that she could participate in, and it's all for a good cause. But she wants to make a statement right now. Right of reply.
Right of reply, and thank you very much for your consideration. I actually used to run very, you'd be surprised at the number, very well.
Oh,
You'd be
not fast.
surprised very fast.
Okay.
You'd be surprised at the number of plates and cups in my mother's house from my running days in primary school.
When did you
and
retire?
I retired when I went into high school.
My director wants to know what happened.
I got interested in indoor games, table tennis, which I actually played for my school.
You don't know how ridiculous that sounds, Terian, but I'll give you the benefit of doubt. And maybe tomorrow or the day after, if you can bring some pictures of you in action, cutting the finish line first, then maybe I'll believe you.
I'm a Kalenjin. What do you expect? I've got the right genes.
You've got the right genes.
I've got the right genes.
Okay. Well, time will tell. I'm sure we'll have a Citizen TV Sports Day sooner rather than later, and we'll put you to the test. Kanza Dana, Kirigo, and everyone else, and see who's the fastest.
Absolutely.
On TV.
As long as Sylvia Chebet and Judy Kosgei are not there, we're fine. Anyway.
Maybe Hussein Mohammed might also be a very good sprinter. We'll wait and see. On behalf of the Sports Desk, I'm Wahiga Mora. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon.
And thank you so much for keeping us company. I am Terian Chebet. Let's meet here again tomorrow, same time.